Hey everybody, it's Diana again, and welcome back to the next installment of Woman Once Removed, my life story. So if you're interested, then stick around. As you can see by the title, I'm going to talk about telling our stories. Why it's important to tell our stories. Now, for the first thing that I think of is that we, as transsexual, transgender people, our stories are very important. They show those that are coming along how important our lives were and how we can be happy after transition and after surgery, if we choose surgery. That it's not just for the elite, it's for everybody. But I must stress that our stories should be honest. Our stories should not try to sugarcoat everything. You should speak your truth. Now, whether or not that truth hurts somebody else's feelings, because these are just our stories, and they are important to share those stories. You'll not always please everybody. There'll be people that will be against you no matter what, if you're honest. Now, if you go into it thinking, well, I'm just going to try to make sure everybody likes me and I'm going to try to not offend anybody else, then you're not telling your story. You're telling a sugar-coated version of your story. I would rather have my story out there as it really is, as it really was, even if I just touch one person in a positive way. I think it's very important that we be honest with our stories and not try to sugarcoat everything, not to hurt people's feelings, because it is our stories. And if you tell a lie, then that makes people think that things can be a certain way, and if it's not, it's not. So you should always tell the truth. Now, I'm a transsexual, so I don't see things the same way that transgenders that started their lives and their transitions as heterosexual cross-dressers. Now, I can't speak from them. I can only speak from my perspective. So that's the reason, that's the way I tell my story. So if I only help one person out there, one other transsexual person that happens along my videos, to know that there is a happy life out there, that they can be happy if it's right for them in the future. Now, the first person that expressed the importance of early transitioners being out there, being visible, telling their stories, was Professor Lynn Conway, an early transitioner that worked for IBM. She's a very famous professor, and she's a post-op transsexual. Very successful lady. And she said how important it was for us to tell our true stories so that they would know that there was hope out there, that there was a future out there, that many of us could be successful women. So if you want to tell your story, even if you are afraid for people to know that you're trans, you can make a video that shows you in silhouette, that they can't actually see who you are. You could do a voiceover with some pretty pictures and things, or some kind of other video going on. But tell your story, because your story is important. Everybody's story is important. I'm not saying my story is more important than anybody else's. It's just my story, and I'm telling it. So I promote anybody to get a camera. I'm using my phone, and start telling your life. Start telling your transitions. Start telling your ups and your downs, your good times, your bad times. Start telling those things so that people can know what they can expect and what they can look forward to in life. You know, be honest, of course, but tell your story. Don't worry about the people who are going to talk negative or think negative because you're not trying to kiss ass. Because that's one thing, the people that know me, I don't kiss ass. Because they weren't there for me whenever I was transitioning. They weren't there for me when my ups and downs were going on. No, I'm 64. It's too late for that. And I'm not needing thousands of views. I'm not planning on making any monetary gain from any of this. No, I'm not worried about popularity. Like I said, if I touch one person that needs to hear this, then they are who I'm making the video for. Plus, I have a lot of friends, mostly cis friends, people I've worked with, people I've gone to school with, people I've been friends with for years that wanted to hear my story. So I don't care whether a lot of other people like my videos or not. I'm putting my story out there. And I've had an interesting life. I really have. I've been able to go and do and see things. I had no fear of getting on a plane and going over into a Middle Eastern country, to Asian countries, to European countries, and done anything I wanted to do. I didn't worry about somebody harassing me or pegging me or giving me any shit. I just have had that confidence since I was young, and it doesn't bother me. And a lot of here I go again, tongue-tied. A lot of it has to do with how you feel about yourself. Not so much how you look, it's how you feel about yourself, how you act, how you react. Just going out and living your life and smiling and just thinking you can be a part of the world as it is. You don't have to change the world. You just want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of a transgender world. That's a real small world. I want to be a part of the real world out there where real things are going on. And I think the majority of you want that too. But a lot of the modern day transgender people that started off as heterosexual cross-dressers and they've waited until they're a little too far along to even think about living in the real world, they have to depend on the transgender community and the transgender world and living on the outskirts of life. And that's not what I wanted. And that's not what I will accept. Even though I live in a town where everybody knows my tea, they treat me with respect. They treat me with dignity. No matter what they may say about me behind my back, they treat me nicely to my face. But when I leave this town, and I leave it quite often, I fit right into the world at large. I can do anything I want to do and go anywhere I want to go and not feel like somebody is pegging me for being a man. Now, one thing I hate whenever they say, oh, this person used to be a man. Well, if you live to be 50 and 60 years old, yeah, you were a man. I transitioned at 18. And I was so feminized with hormones my mother took that I was not a man. I was a boy. I was a male. But I was never a man, you know, it takes more than just a penis and testicles to make you a man. And I never was. So that sort of offends and shocks me when people will say that, oh, this person used to be a man. Well, no, I'm sorry. I was never a man. I was never a bush, burly man. I never had body hair or facial hair. I never had male muscle mass. I mean, I have wide shoulders, but I mean, I was delicate when I'm not heavy. But of course, when I was heavy, it covered and made me look just like a big old fat lady. If y'all seen the pictures of me when I was 500 pounds, I don't look like a 500-pound man. I look like a real pretty 500-pound lady. So, if you need FFS, you need to think about that. Because I've seen some girls, honey, that looked really, really masculine. And once they had that surgery, they was able to pull it over to the other side. So y'all need to think about that. And I do too now. Now that I've lost weight and gotten older, my brow ridge looks more male. And I would like to have that shaved down. But I can tell you this, I doubt I will ever have the money for that. So that's nothing I'm going to worry about at my age. And I'd like to have, you know, some turkey woggle taken off and a few things done. But I'm going to learn to live with what I have with dignity. Because I've already lived my life. I've already enjoyed my youth and enjoyed my womanhood. But if you haven't been able to enjoy that yet, I say invest in some FFS if you can. You know, so that you can enjoy life to its fullest. Because there's nothing like being accepted in the world as a female. There was nothing any better for me. And after all these years, I still get an excitement when they call me ma'am or miss. Usually ma'am these days because I'm so old. But it still excites me. Makes me feel good and warm inside. That's something that will never leave. You'll always feel that excitement. Well, I say for those of y'all who have already been through this, tell your stories. Let people see. I'm getting into a southern drawl again. Tell y'all stories. So that if you help that one person, then you've done your part. Whether you're one of those transgender people or a transsexual person, it doesn't matter what your background is. Because we're all just trying to be happy. We're all trying to be ourselves and feel comfortable in our own skins. So tell your truth and be honest with your truth. But get out there and make those videos, girls. And hit me up with them because I want to see them. Bye-bye, y'all. Look at this little skinny arm.